Good day everyone, I am Misty Escabas and I am from BS Ed Math 3-1A. And today I'm going to talk all about the curriculum evaluation and the teacher. So the content for the topic today is what, why, and how to evaluate a curriculum. But before anything else, here are the desired learning outcomes. So at the end of the lesson, you'll be able to, first, acquire clear understanding of what curriculum evaluation is. Second, explain the need to evaluate the curriculum evaluation models. And third, expand knowledge about different curriculum evaluation models. Now, let us define first what does curriculum evaluation means. So when we say curriculum evaluation, it is premised on the concept of alignment of planned, written, and implemented curriculum. It also means measuring and judging the extent to which planned courses, programs, learning activities, and opportunities as expressed in the formal curriculum actually produce the expected result. So, if carried out effectively, this process can enable decisions to be made about improvement and the future progress. So, curriculum evaluation also answers two big questions. The first one is, do planned course, programs, activities as written and implemented produce desired outcomes? Second, how can this school curriculum improve? So, curriculum evaluation is one of the most essential phase of curriculum development process because through this, curricularist discovers whether a curriculum is fulfilling its purpose and whether students is actually learning. And it also gathers data and information which help us to identify the areas that need for improvement. So, curriculum evaluation is a new idea for many teachers, not knowing that every day the teacher is involved in several components of evaluation. So, there are two ways of looking at curriculum evaluation. So, the first one is curriculum program evaluation. So, it focuses on the overall aspects of curriculum or the curriculum itself. And some examples of these are the curriculum development as a subject, K-12 program, outcome-based education as a degree, teachers' approach in mathematics curriculum, and mother tongue-based multilingual education as a program. So based on the example here, it focuses on the overall aspects of a curriculum. For example, if we are going to evaluate a curriculum, how is the K-12 program working at this moment? Let's say you are viewing K-12 program. And another one is, how does mother tongue-based multilingual education as a program? Is it effective or not? So that's overall. It's about the inter-program. It's a big umbrella that you are looking and at which follows a lot of process and di siya makuha sa paper and pencil lang. So next, we have the curriculum program component evaluation. So it refers directly to the assessment of curriculum content and process as implemented every day in view of the learning outcomes as either formative or summative. So the examples of these are achievement learning outcomes, curriculum process such as teaching learning methods or strategies niya. And lastly, instructional materials such as books and modules. So here, speaking of the component, it covers, let's say, for it, evaluation for a curriculum component. This is what we do in the classroom. You are testing whether the learner successfully achieving the curriculum or not, whether they learn the lesson or not. So we are evaluating the curriculum process, whether the delivery is effective or not. So we are also evaluating the instructional materials like books and modules. So is it helpful ba or not? So this is the curriculum focusing on the component of evaluation. So an analysis of various definitions reveals that curriculum evaluation is both a process and a tool. Curriculum evaluation as a process because it follows steps and procedures based on models and frameworks to get the directed results. Then evaluation as a tool help the teacher and program implementer to judge the worth and merit of the program and innovation of curricular change. So for both process and tool, the results of evaluation will be the basis to improve curriculum. So now, let's take a look on how curricularists define curriculum evaluation. So, according to Ornstein and Hankins F., curriculum evaluation is a process done in order to gather data that enables one to decide whether to accept, change, eliminate the whole curriculum of a book. So, in other words, curriculum evaluation is a process of collecting data and information in order to gather how effective curriculum is and to know if the students are progressing and improving. Also, through curriculum evaluation, the faculty and the staff and all the stakeholders will be able to know if there is a need to revise or change the curriculum to ensure that students' learning needs will be met. Therefore, this only means that curriculum evaluation is not about to prove how effective the curriculum is, but to improve the curriculum. That is why curriculum is dynamic because it changes from time to time. So next, according to McNeil J., evaluation answers two questions. So first, do planned learning opportunities, programs, courses, and activities as developed and organized actually produce desired results? Second, how can a curriculum best be improved? So indeed, we need to evaluate a curriculum so that we can find the answers to the following questions. Also, through curriculum evaluation, the stakeholder will be able to identify if the curriculum meets the objective, the goals, or the expected outcomes. So next, according to Gay L., curriculum evaluation identify the weakness and strengths as well as problems encountered in the implementation to improve the curriculum development process. So this means that it is really important to evaluate a curriculum in order to elevate the strength and to use the weaknesses as the strength to make the curriculum more improved. And lastly, according to Oliva P., curriculum evaluation is a process of delineating, obtaining, and providing useful information for judging alternatives for purposes of modifying or eliminating the curriculum. Therefore, evaluation is very significant to a curriculum because this is the basis for improvement of curriculum. And this is the one way of answering all the problems and taking away all the negativities. So now, let's move on to the reasons for curriculum evaluation. So, why is there a need to evaluate a curriculum? So first, it identifies the strengths and weaknesses of an existing curriculum that will be the basis of the intended plan, this time or the implementation. So this is referred to as needs assessment. And this means that through curriculum evaluation, we'll be able to know how effective the curriculum is. And also, we will be able to know the strengths and weaknesses that will help us to make good or right planning decision in order to improve the curriculum. Second, while evaluation is done in the middle of curriculum development, it will tell us if the designed or implemented curriculum can produce or is producing desired result. So, curriculum evaluation is very important because through this, we can ensure the curriculum implemented is good enough for students. And if that curriculum is satisfied the desired outcomes. So, based on substandard, curriculum evaluation will guide whether the results have equaled or exceeded the standards. Thus, this can be called as success Next is curriculum evaluation provides information necessary for teachers, school managers, curriculum specialists for policy recommendations that will enhance in achieving learning outcomes, and this is the basis for decision making. In short, curriculum evaluation is very significant because this is not only provide the teacher, school heads, office stakeholders information about the strengths and weaknesses, but this also serves as the guide that help to enhance the teaching and learning process and become more productive for the improvement of school, and most especially to the students. And now, let us move on to curriculum models. In order to determine the merit or worth of an aspect of a curriculum specialists have proposed an array of models which are helpful or useful for classroom teachers and practitioners. So let us look some of these models. Now, let us look at L.H. Bradley's model, which is Bradley's effectiveness model for curriculum development indicators. He wrote this book in 1985, which provides indicators that can help measure the effectiveness of a developed or written curriculum. Basically, it looks on the effectiveness the curriculum meet the pre-established indicators, which are vertical curriculum continuity, horizontal curriculum continuity, instruction based on curriculum, broad involvement, long-range planning, positive human relations, theory into practice, and planned change. So this is how Bradley's effectiveness model for a curriculum indicates look like. So they are going to check whether the given indicators or the descriptive questions achieved or not. There is actually no framework, but instead a simple checklist provided shown in the slide. So to use this model in curriculum evaluation, so first, you have to identify what curriculum you will evaluate. For example, elementary science curriculum, teacher education curriculum, student teaching curriculum, and field study curriculum. And after it, you need to find out if the curriculum you are evaluating answers yes or no. And answering yes to all the questions means good curriculum. However, no answer or mark school should be looked after and be improved to achieve the yes mark. To sum it up, this model, the given indicator, serves as the working characteristic that any complex organization must have in order to be responsive. Further, the measurement can be oriented to meet the needs of any school district from large to small, and it can focus on the specific evaluation of a school district curriculum area. So the next model is Tyler Objective-Centered Model. So who is Ralph Tyler? So Ralph Tyler is a professor at the University of Chicago who proposed a curriculum evaluation model on the year 1949. And the model was published in a book called Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction. So here is how the model of Ralph Tyler looks like. So here, you are going to check yes whether the given indicator has achieved and no if not. So the Tyler model begins by defining the objectives of the learning experience. These objectives must have relevancy to the field of the study and to overall curriculum. So this is the model procedure. So this model obtains the curriculum objectives from three sources: the student, the society, and the subject matter. So Ralph Tyler made the model procedure of how curriculum evaluation is done. So as you can see, first is determine or determining, which means you are going to determine the student's need or the objective that you need to achieve, and it answers what are the goals or educationals that needs to be attained. And second is identify or identifying, which means identifying or developing learning experiences, and it answers how can learning experiences be selected which are likely to be useful in attaining the objective. Next procedure is organize or organizing. it determines the experience relevancy. This will answer the question, how can learning experiences be organized for effective instruction? And the last one is evaluate or evaluating. So here, it basically assesses the objective and it answers how can the effectiveness of learning experiences be evaluated. So Tyler's modal procedure is designed to measure the degree to which predefined objectives and goals have been obtained. Furthermore, the modal focuses primarily on the product rather than the process in achieving the goals and objectives of the curriculum. So after all, these procedures and processes of curriculum evaluation using Ralph Tyler's modal, through all the steps obtaining all yes answers would mean the curriculum has passed the standards. Now, let's move on to another modal, which is Daniel Staffelbeam's CIPP modal. So who is Daniel Staffelbeam? So he is the founder and director of Ohio State University Center. He created the innovative CIPP evaluation model, and he is the director of Western Michigan University. So what is CIPP model? So CIPP model is based on planning, structuring, implementing, reviewing, and revising decisions, each examined through evaluation of context, input, process, and product evaluation. So it is also a decision focus. Its information is essential for planned decision. It uses both summative and informative evaluation with the intent for improvement of the program series or product. So here's the diagram of CIPP model. So the first C here stands for the context, which assesses needs and problems in the context for decision makers to determine the goals and objectives of the program or curriculum. It also answers the question, what should we do? And it considered as the goals. Then the I here, which stands for input, which assesses alternative means based on the inputs for the achievement of objectives to help decision makers to choose options for optimal means, and it is considered as the plan. It also answered the question, how shall we do it? Then the first P here stands for the process, which monitors the processes both to ensure that the means are actually being implemented and make necessary modification, and it also considered as the actions. Then it also answers the question, are we doing as planned? Then the last P here stands for the product, which compares actual ends with intended ends and leads to a series of recycling decision. Then it referred to as the outcomes. Then it also answers the questions, does it work? So here's the suggested steps for all the 4 stages. So the stages for the CIPP model are context evaluation, input evaluation, process evaluation, and product evaluation. So the steps taken in all the stages are: Step 1, identify the kind of decision to be made. Step 2, identify the kinds of data to make that decision. Step 3, collect the data needed. Step 4, establish the criteria to determine quality of data. Step 5, analyze data based on the criteria. And Step 6, organize needed information needed for decision makers. So, moving on, let's have another model, which is Stakes Responsive Evaluation Model by Robert E. Stake. So, this model enables to evaluate the educational and other programs by comparing the program activity, the program uniqueness, and the social diversity of the people. So, in using Stakes Responsive Evaluation Model, there are 4 steps. There are steps to be followed. So, here are the steps. So, step 1, meets with stakeholders to identify their perspectives and intention regarding curriculum evaluation. Step 2, Draws from Step 1 documents to determine the scope of the evaluation. Step 3 observes the curriculum closely to identify the unintended sense of implementation and any deviations from announced intents. Step 4 identifies the stated real purposes of the program and the various audiences. Step 5 identifies the problems of the curriculum evaluation at hand and identifies an evaluation design with needed data. Step 6 selects the means needed to collect data or information. Step 7 implements the data collection procedure. Step 8 organizes the information into themes, and Step 9 decides with stakeholders the most appropriate formats for the report. So, we conclude helping stakeholders gain perspective regarding the entirety of program. Seeing how stakeholders and experts see programs strengthen weaknesses, the communication of peaceful information to stakeholders throughout the process and reporting on their perception on program quality. We can consider it as a responsive model if it orients more directly to program activities than to program intents. If it refers to the different value perspectives of the stakeholders when reporting success or failure of a program. So, we conclude helping stakeholders gain perspective regarding the entirety of program. Seeing how stakeholders and experts see program, strengthen weaknesses, the communication of peaceful information to stakeholders throughout the process and reporting on their perception on program quality. So, moving on the last model, which is serving consumer-oriented evaluation. So, Michael Servin in 1987 introduced this evaluation among many other when evaluation products of flooded the market. Consumers of educational products which are needed to support an implemented curriculum often use consumer-oriented evaluation, and these products are used in school, which requires a purchasing decision, and it includes textbook, modules, educational technology like software, and other instructional materials. So, this model also uses a criteria and checklist as a tool, either formative or summative purposes. So, here's the example of instructional materials review form, which was adapted from Patterson Marvin of Florida State University in USA. So, here, there is a preliminary information which includes the title, the author, the publisher, the copyright date, and who is the material evaluator. And here's the criteria or standard in using Servin consumer-oriented evaluation. So, when evaluating the curriculum using this model, there is a code to be used in rating materials. So, as you can see, the plus or the positive sign means yes or good quality. Zero sign means all right but not good quality. Negative sign means no or poor quality. And NA means not applicable. Here, they are going to check the list of criteria or materials, whether it is a yes, no, all right, or not applicable. So, using this checklist for instructional material, review, or evaluation, it may help any curricularist make decision as to which textbook, modules, or any instructional support material will be used, revised, modified, or rejected. In summary, whatever models of curriculum evaluation to be used, ASCD in 1983 suggests the following steps. So, these are the steps in conducting a curriculum evaluation. So, step 1, identifying primary audiences. Then we need to consider the curriculum programs, sponsors, managers, school heads, participants such as teachers and students, content specialists, and other stakeholders. Then step 2, identifying critical issues or problems such as outcomes, process, and resources. Then step 3, identifying data sources from people, existing documents, available records, and evaluation studies. Then step 4, identifying techniques for collecting data, which are the standardized test, informal tests, samples of student work, interviews, participant observation, checklist, anecdotal records. Then step 5, identifying established standards and criteria. So standards previously set by agencies such as DepEd and CHED and any professional organizations. Then step 6, identifying techniques in data analysis such as content analysis, process analysis, statistics, comparison, and evaluation process. Then step 7, preparing evaluation reports. So it can be written, oral, progress, final, summary, descriptive, graphic, evaluative, and judgmental, or the list of recommendations. Then step 8, preparing modes of display such as case studies, test score summary, then testimonies, multimedia representation, then product display or such as exhibits and technical report. So the steps are easy to follow. Begin thinking of how curriculum evaluators will proceed in finding out if there is a need to modify, enhance, or continue with the implementation of the curriculum. After all, the main purpose of evaluation is to improve the existing condition so that it would benefit the students. And that's all. Thank you.